everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Inessa and I'm an indie author and I write under the pen name A.N. Sage. I usually have a lot of writing videos on this channel. I try to put out a video at least once every week, and a lot of times it is about writing or about creative entrepreneurship, working for yourself, working from home, and there's a lot of planner and stationery videos in between there. But we are right now in the midst of Preptober. Now, if you don't know what Preptober is, it's the month of October when a lot of writers out there get ready for NanoWrimo. NanoWrimo is National Writing Month. And in that month, the point is to write 50,000 words in 1 month. So pretty much almost an entire novel or a full novel or a full novella. So that's the goal for NanoWrimo. And during October, what we do is we get ready. Now, I already had a video last week where I kind of talked about what my plans are and how I'm getting ready for NanoWrimo myself. And if you want to see that, I will link it below and in the cards. But today, I actually want to talk about a new tool that I am using to plot my NanoWrimo project. So I am starting in a new genre in NanoWrimo. I am plotting a brand new project. It is a paranormal cozy mystery, and usually I use a planner, a bullet journal planner, or Scrivener to plot all of my novels. But this time I got Plottr, and I really wanted to try it out. A lot of people use it. I have not used it yet, and so I was pretty excited to try out a new tool that I thought might make it easier for me to plot. Because I'm writing in a new genre, I kind of wanted to try something new for plotting. And so today I'm going to be talking to you and doing like a little walkthrough of Plottr, what it looks like, what you can use it as, or at least this is how I use it. Now, I've just started using Plottr. And I'm sure there are things that you can do with it that I don't do myself, but I love Plottr because of the timeline, which I'll show you in a second, and because you can integrate everything you've done into Scrivener to set it up. So let me show you what Plottr looks like and what I have it laid out as. Over here you have your account. Obviously I won't click on that, it's got personal information. There's a backup section here where you will have folders of all of your backups as Plottr creates them as you work. There's a settings section where you can kind of change like what your dashboard looks like, where your backups would be. There is an arc structure beta where you can organize your scene cards into chapters and arcs. I have this clicked off because when you have it clicked on, for some reason it won't let me export the documents as is the timeline. So I have it clicked off. It's not important for me. I usually organize that in Scrivener anyways. Now, if you go into my files, I already have a file set up, so we can take a look at that later. But what I'm going to show you kind of is what you can actually do, and the cool thing about Plottr. So you can create a blank project, which is fine. Where you could kind of like go through it, you'd name your blank project and you do it yourself, or you can use a template. So what's very cool here, so I have a template already. I created a cozy mystery template. This is like kind of a version of one of the cozy mystery beat sheets they have here, and just some other stuff that I'm using for myself. But the cool stuff is that they have project templates, so you can choose a snowflake project template if you've used that. They have a template already created here for you. You can use any of these beat templates as well, and they're broken down by the genre of book that you're writing. So let's say you're writing mystery, it will give you 3 different beats as starter templates that you can use in order to write your mystery. So there's a 12-step mystery formula, cozy mystery beat sheet, and the sleuth journey. Now, if you click on this, it will show you what it will generate some stuff for you. So you would have your scene cards, the plot lines, sleuth journey, victim's journey, villain's journey, and subplot and romance, and then the different scene cards. Now, this probably doesn't make any sense to you right now, but let's take a look at the cozy mystery beat sheet because I used that as my starting point. for creating my cozy mystery template. I really like this one because it does have the 3 acts. I mean, it says like 4 acts here, but it's actually 3 acts because these 2 are actually act 2. So if you have been using something like Save the Cat to plot before this is or the 3 act structure, this is very similar to that. So it had the 3 acts, which I really liked. And then it had all these scene cards. And I love this because this kind of, as somebody who's new to writing in the genre, this gave me kind of almost like writing prompts for plotting, right? So plotting prompts. So it kind of tells you where you want to place your different beats in a way, and those are what the scene cards are. Now, if we go back into my actual projects, and this is, if you're a reader, kind of look away, obviously, because this is giving stuff away. Like, you can get the title here. I don't have the cover out yet up here, but they will at some point. But in general, like, if you are a reader of my books and you're excited for this new series, then please don't watch this video because there's going to be a lot of spoilers here. But if you are an author and you're just kind of looking to see what Plottr is all about, then welcome. So this is what I have so far. I kind of am halfway through plotting now, and I'm giving myself some time to do it. So I'm taking all of October to kind of plot and catch up on some other work. So you put in your name of your book, kind of the genre. You can put in the premise, the theme. I didn't bother with any of that. The beauty of this is, see where it says series here? As you start to add more books into, like, as you write more books, you can just add them in here, and you will basically have a series Bible in Plottr. When, to me, that was such a great thing. I think this is like one of the things that sold me on it, because I truly hate going back and having to reread books when I'm done writing them in order to update series Bibles. So this here will create the series Bible for you. So I'll show you how it will do that in a second, or what you'll see in it. We're going to skip over the timeline for now. We're going to go through these little things here. So notes are pretty straightforward. You could add a note in, label it whatever you want, and they will start adding the note right there. So we're going to delete that, because we don't need it. When you add a note, you can categorize it. So I have main notes and then uncategorized. You can characterize your note by character, for example. You can characterize your notes categorize your notes by act. So that's really good for organization. I just have main notes and uncategorized. So just everything else, basically. So we're going to delete this. Don't need it. And then let's take a look at so I just created right now. I haven't, I've taken some notes here, but I've created an editing note, which, if you watched my series videos, I'll try to link that as well on, sorry, not my series, my, Scrivener video. And I will link that. Then you'll see that I usually have an open, doc in there with editing notes. And as I'm writing, as I think of things I need to go back to while editing, I will go ahead and I will, add that to my editing notes in the same doc. So I did the same thing here. I'm not writing in Plottr, so I might not even use this for editing notes, but who knows? I just kind of put that in there for now. And then I have mystery notes, and these are just like a few little notes that I made as I was writing. So like it's kind of like a sheet to fill in. So you got the killer, main red herring, subplots, memes, series tropes, moment of danger for sleuth, and clues. And my plan is with this is just to copy paste it into the outline wherever I need it. I have competitor research in here, so that I've gotten quite a few on. And then I have some working titles for the rest of the series. Now, the next tab is characters. This is the fun part. So when you have your series here, whatever characters, places, and things like that you create, they'll be here as part of your series. So that's what I mean. You just keep adding to this, and then you have a series Bible just in Plottr, just for plotting, which I think is fantastic. So I have my main character here, and when you go to create a character, so you can add a character thumbnail. So I just picked like a little thing here. So let's create a new character. So let's create a character like Christine. I don't know. Your category here, either a main character, a supporting character, or another. So let's say Christine is a supporting character for us. Christine is going to drop right here in the supporting characters. And yes, Harry Houdini is a raccoon who's a supporting character. Short description, she'll be, this is not a real character in the book, but Piper's best friend, let's say. And Piper is the main character. Now you can make some notes here about Christine, like what she likes, where she lives, where she lives, etc. Right? Or, and this is great, you can add a template. So if you want to add a template, my favorite one, obviously, so there's different ones. There's goal, motivation, conflict. There's all numerology, snowflake method. You can big 5 personality traits, Clifton strengths, like all the stuff that you can add here. But I love, of course, the character arc, which is your first impression of them, the goal, the flaw, the aha moment, action, and transformation. You can add a character bio template where you would have like their name, age, gender, eye color, good habits, bad habits, etc. And then you can also add a goal, motivation, and conflict template to this. So you'd have your external goal, external motivation, external conflict, internal goal, internal motivation, internal conflict. Now, if you have a part of my newsletter, then you will have access to a resource, a library that I give out for free. And in there are plotting sheets, and you will know that these external and internal goals and motivations and conflicts are part of that. So it's very important for me to have, and so I really like adding them. So for now, for Piper so far, I have just a little note. So I have a backstory, some future books, ideas, just notes for myself. I have a character bio here that I filled out, which was one of the templates. And then I filled out this character arc for now. I will be adding the goal soon. I just kind of wanted to get a bit more into plotting. And I'm just going to delete Christine because we don't need her. And you can have short little ones. So like Harry Houdini the raccoon, so far all I have for him is a very short like notes description section. So he's a raccoon. He doesn't need a character arc, but I mean, he might. And so we have just like a few different, so supporting, I don't do a character arc, I just do the bio, but for the main character, I am going to be having a lot more work done. But that's kind of like what you would do with characters. And then what you can actually do is you can go ahead and export. So you can export your characters either into Scrivener or into Microsoft Word. I haven't tried Advanced, so I'm not really sure what's on there. But it's great that you can just go ahead and export, and you can actually export them with the images or just the images, whatever you want. So that's in there. Then you have a very similar kind of setup for places. So we have Beam Me Up, which is, I don't know why it's in here. I think I added it twice accidentally, but you've got places in here. So Beam Me Up is a cafe that Piper owns. And I kind of just put like pictures of what I think it would look like, more or less. Then like our house, I have a couple of notes and again, pictures. There's the Rose Hollow Hotel, which is going to be like a pretty important part of this entire novel. And then a couple of notes and just a main picture. So you can do the same thing for places as you would for characters. Now under tags, I have some main tags here like clue, misdirection, interview, and murder. You could have whatever tags you want. Like you can tag conflict, you can tag climax, you can tag action or fighting, you can tag dialogue. So you can add those tags to your scene cards later. But for me, they seem to make sense. That way I can always keep those tags. And the reason you want tags, we'll get to that in a moment. So first, we're going to go into outline. So when you have the outline, and this is where that template with the beats comes in. So remember how you started this from a template. So you could start a blank project and just kind of enter all of this yourself. Or if you started from a template, this is what you would get. So the templates that we will have, let me go to one that I haven't filled out yet because I did change them quite a bit. So you would get something like this where you would have, say, beat 13, and it would say stakes rise. It'll say beginning of act 3. It's a proactive phase. Remember, this is all part of the way that I plot too, which is why I chose this template to work with and to kind of change up. And it'll have some questions for you that will kind of let you know what it means for the stakes to rise. So what changed so that the protagonist is now fully invested in catching the killer? How does the antagonist up their game in this act? And this is directly related to cozy mysteries. This is what I mean by how great it is. It literally kind of basically like feeds you information on what you should be thinking about for every beat as you plot. And you can click on each beat as you kind of maneuver through it, or you can just scroll through it. Now, as you start filling this out, so you can see this was kind of what it says, and then I'm starting to fill it out. So meet the protagonist. Piper is at her cafe. The espresso machine breaks down and she has a big bite up. We meet the first victim, Daniel. We'll also get to know Piper's secret, that she is a medium, but she can only see the ghost of Stella, and we don't know why. So this is kind of like how I answered what is happening in this section, in this beat. Now, what is her? I use these questions to answer them as well. So, what is her external goal? To fix the machine and make sure everyone has a great start to their day. What is your protagonist's internal goal? Does she have one? To prove herself worthy of the approval of others, and that she's not a disappointment like her mother. So, her backstory is kind of coming into play here as we meet her. What opposes her goals, both internal and external? The machine is dead and can't be fixed. I said which. So this has to change here. I need to actually delete that because originally, see how easy that was? Originally, I was going to make Piper a witch, but now we're going with medium, and there's a whole other backstory to the ghosts. So it's all very different. But I'll need to add like what opposes her internal goal. So once you fill these out, like B2 over here is filled out, where we kind of get to know people more, establish the setting. How is the setting cozy? Because this is a cozy mystery. As you fill this out, the other thing you can change here is you can add which characters apply to which beat. So you would add characters, and you can add from all of these characters that you created up here, you can actually add them and apply them to this beat. So we know that Piper obviously is in this beat because we're getting to meet her for the first time. Stella Rutherford, who is the ghost that she can see, and the place that's here. So again, from the places, the place that we can add here, we can add any of the places that we have created, but Beam Me Up is a big part of this beat, so we're gonna add it here. Now, when you're done filling out all your beats or your outline as you're working, if you click on this timeline here, you will see that it actually categorizes everything you've written on your timeline. So everything will work for you. So you can actually see your timeline move along, and you can change the colors here and kind of the layouts. You can add more beats, either from templates or just a blank one as you go along. You can add beats underneath. So if you're categorizing this by chapters, you can add this and call it chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Then you could have this as chapters, and under here, instead of the beats, you would add another thing, and you'd say have another beat here. So your chapter 1 could have 2 beats, or 3 or 4 or whatever. So that's kind of how this works. Once you fill the outline out, it transfers to your timeline, and it gives you like a little note of everything that you so far have plotted. Now, you can add different attributes to different scenes. You can do a search. So the search here, you can do a blank search, but the good part is you can filter it by your tags. So this is what I was saying. So you can filter it by the tags, you can filter it by the characters. Let's say you have like 30 characters or something, and you want to know where only the scenes that deal with that character. So I want to know only the scenes that deal with Stella Rutherford. I will take that out, and these are all the scenes where Stella appears. And then you can also tag, filter by tags. So if I have, say, like an interview, right now I don't have it, I haven't gotten that far, but what I could actually do is like, I actually want to know, when did Piper interview Joe, for example? So I would click on Joe and I would click on interview, and that scene card, that beat where Joe was interviewed will pop up. So I think that is just, the search on this for me with the tags is really great, as long as you set it up properly as you're plotting. Which, you know me, I'm like a huge detail-oriented junkie, so it's important to me to do that. Now, you could change the structure. This is like where like your timeline structure, so you could have like the colors changed. You can have the border color, your text color, background color, style, whatever. Change the way it looks, basically. And then as before, you can actually export it. So when you export it straight to Scrivener, it looks like this. Let me show you. Let's open up Scrivener, and then we can take a look at what it looks like what I've done so far. We'll see what it looks like. So, Grave Roast, Scrivener. So, as we open it up, I had Shadowhurst open there, so let's hide that away. So, as we open it up, it will actually export it as a manuscript, and it will export, these are all the beats, right? So you can see all the beats, and as you start writing, like here's your notes, and then you can start writing. Now, I'm not a fan of exactly how it exports, but it exports the way it should. Like it exports the beats, and the beats are on your card, and then you kind of write from there. This is not how I usually set up my Scrivener. And so for me, like I just kind of export so I can copy paste it into a different document. I'm going to have to change it as I start adding the chapters in. I'll kind of go through and I'll add these notes into the chapters, and I'll probably just open up a blank Scrivener document and copy paste into there what I exported here. But if you don't care about what your Scrivener looks like, or you're fine with this kind of layout, or if, for example, you went through and you actually where are we? Grave Roast. So if you went through and you actually labeled these as chapters, and over here you kind of put notes on your chapter instead of these beats, then your Scrivener will be set up the way that like I, for example, usually use it. So there's a lot that you can do here. I think it's a fantastic tool. I am still getting to know it. For me, the series Bible, the search, and then the templates have been a real draw. And so I think that's great. I know somebody mentioned in our community here in one of the comments that Plottr actually made them lose of their work. And so I'm not sure how often that happens. That hasn't happened to me. I'm in the Plottr Facebook community, and I don't really see it there all that often, so it could have been just a fluke. But, you know, it did happen to someone, so something to note. But so far for me, this has been fantastic. It's also been inspiring to plot with it. So if you're not sure where to start with plotting, or if you're new to plotting, this would be great because it kind of sets you up for success. It gives you notes and guides and things to follow so that you can plot, and you can fill them out as much as you want to. So you can put one sentence in, one word in, whatever you need. So if you are new to plotting, let's say you're a pantser and you're just starting to get into plotting because you want to plot for Nano, for example, then I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's not expensive. I think it was like 20 something for the full year. And so it's affordable. That's for one computer. If you have multiple, I think there's a different price point for that, but it's definitely affordable. And I just think it's a fantastic tool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And if I can, then I will find out for you and I'll ask the wonderful people of Plottr if I can get you answers for something that I don't know yet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. What do you think of this tool? Do you have a different tool that you use for plotting? How are you plotting for NanoWrimo? Are you plotting for NanoWrimo? I want to know everything. So let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you stay magical. And as always, I will talk to you next week. Bye.